Well, let's talk more about Syria. Tawfiq Chama is Secretary General and spokesperson for the NGO, the UOSSM. Thanks very much for speaking to France 24. Just a reaction from you, firstly. Syria marking the 7th year of its conflict today. What do you make of that?
Unfortunately, we are heading into a sort of normalizing of horror. Syria's story is telling that the 13 million people exiled from their homes in Syria are still suffering, not only abroad, but inside Syria. What's happening nowadays, it's a shame, really, for all of us. I'd like to say just what Stephen Hawking, just what he said before his death. He passed away, as you know, 2 days ago. He said the following about Syria: what's happening in Syria is an abomination, one that the world is watching coldly from a distance. Where is our emotional intelligence, our sense of collective justice? Really, the question is still alive after Stephen Hawking.
I mean, Mr. Chama, the aim of your NGO is quite specific. That's to guarantee access to medical treatment to Syrians who are affected by this war. Talk to us, if you will, concretely about the kind of obstacles that your team are facing on the ground when it comes to delivering this medical treatment and access.
Actually, we are always hoping to have these humanitarian corridors opened. You talked about 29 persons evacuated. We are talking about more than 1,200 injured during the last 20 days who needs to be evacuated. We are talking about more than 1,000 chronically ill patients who needs intensive care units and who needs to be evacuated. We still need to have access. Our main obstacle is the access. Either we have a real humanitarian corridor to get in and treat people, or to get them out. This is the main humanitarian challenge. The other one, when you are talking about 2,000 or 3,000 are fleeing, you will be obliged to talk about the 400,000 people who are inside Ghouta, who are in real need. Real need is not only medical, it's about food, about potable water, about all of these, which will induce diseases sooner or later. This is the second main challenge for us.
I mean, amid reports of non-conventional attacks on civilians, how much does that complicate the work that your team are doing?
Actually, we had many reports about using chlorine. Chlorine is used as a heavy product, a heavy agent which goes into shelters underground, which pushes people to go out from their shelters, and then they are exposed to fire, to snipers, to bombings on the ground. Unfortunately, we are assisting to situations in eastern Ghouta that people are just in the streets, killed, and nobody can go to them. The other new agent that we have just heard about it this morning is a phosphorus bombing. We have evidence that phosphorus have just been used last night in eastern Ghouta. To what extent the international community would accept and tolerate using non-conventional arms in eastern Ghouta? It's a real scandal.
I mean, Mr. Chama, just a final question with you, if you will. We're seeing daily images of Syrians, the exhaustion, the violence that they're facing. As far as you're concerned, is their plight being ignored by the international community?
Actually, we feel that the international community is just closing the eye on this. There is something behind the corridor. There is something which have been accepted, admitted, that these populations are condemned, and this is a real scandal. It's a shame for our humanity to see that almost all medias are just not talking about it, except some direct medias like you and others. But actually, the horror in Syria is not a daily, which is a day-to-day living for Syrians. It's not conveyed through medias, to all people all over the world. And this is a shame. I think medias are not doing their real job.
OK, Taufik Chama, you're Secretary General and spokesperson for the NGO, the UOSSM. Thanks very much for your time on France 24.